So I consider myself a very optimistic person. Like whenever anyone calls me shit, I always just wait a little bit in case they add the word hot. And if they don't, I just add it myself. So I assume that's what they meant. I consider myself a very open-minded person. Like recently, I went on a course on becoming clairvoyant. And I was terrible at it. Just as I predicted. I went on a course on improving your memory, and about halfway through it, I thought, I've been on this course before. Had a bit of an unusual thing happen to me today. I was walking along and someone waved at me. Yeah, so I waved back at them. And then I realised that they weren't waving at me, they were waving at someone behind me. So I had to pretend I was waving at someone behind them. And then I realised that the person behind them was someone I knew but really didn't want to talk to. I figured out recently that the word put and the word pop often mean the same thing. Like, let me just put this down here, or let me just pop this down here. But what I've realised is that put is for more serious things, and pop is for things that are more casual. Like, I've never ever heard anyone say, okay, I just need you to pop the gun down. And while you're at it, pop that thing back in your pants. Don't know why I pop up with this. I was in a workplace recently, and there was a heater, and on top of the heater there was a sign that said, warning hot surface, which I thought was fair enough. But then underneath it, it had the same thing written in Braille. I can see that some of you have noticed that I am foreign. Yeah, I'm from New Zealand. I moved here recently. It's taking me a while to get used to it. Like, I was in a shopping centre the other day, and I was sitting there minding my own business, when all of a sudden, someone ran up to me, grabbed my bag, and ran off. And I was about to go after them when I saw this sign that said, thieves may operate in this area. And I thought, they've got permission. I find people to be a bit unfriendly. Like, I was walking along the other day and someone jumped out in front of me and said, I'm going to knife you. And I said, okay, but maybe just one suggestion. If we change the utensil to a spoon, it'd be lovely for both of us. And he just turned around and ran off, which I didn't think was very nice, leading me on like that. So I stabbed him. I consider myself a very honest and trustworthy person. Like, when I first arrived in the country, I was at the customs desk, and the customs person said to me, so, how long are you planning on being in the country? And I said, I don't know. How long do you think it would take to sell 25 kilograms of heroin? I've been back in New Zealand recently. I was catching up with some friends. I've got a friend called Andrew who's really into technology, and he told me, right, that there's wedding rings you can get now which have a GPS in them. So you can track where your partner goes using an app on your phone. Which is how he found out that his wife spends most of her time in a drawer. I've got a cousin who looks up to me, often asks me for advice. Like, he came up to me and he said, "Hey Richard, I'm thinking of getting a tattoo across my forehead that says killer." And I said, "Come on, you might want to think this one through. Like, can you imagine how people are going to judge you? Particularly, say, at job interviews?" Anyway, we came up with a compromise in the end, and he ended up getting the killer tattoo. Just underneath we added, "but hard working." I've got a brother, I'll tell you a bit about him. He weighs 25 stone. He's attracted to both men and women. And that's about it, really. By and large. So yeah, my name's Richard. Richard was a popular name when I was a kid, but then as I grew up, trends changed and it became old-fashioned, which made me think that it would be a better idea for parents to give children old-fashioned names, because then by the time they grow up, trends might have changed and the name might be okay again. Although try explaining that to my kids. Genghis and Adolf. Such fussy girls. I'm Richard Lindsay, that's all for me tonight. Good evening.